Yeah, I don't know how many suicide bombers are like, all right, before I blow myself up, I got to talk to my lawyer to make sure this is okay. I remember a case that involved humanitarian legal groups that were providing legal advice for terrorist organizations. Now, the legal advice wasn't about, helping the terrorists get away with terrorism. It was rather, it involved finding ways for them to resolve problems peacefully. So what was the ruling on that?
Yeah, so this case actually arose when a lawyer here from Los Angeles put together a group to advise terrorist organizations on how they could try to resolve the disputes that they were fighting about or committing terrorist acts about through peaceful international law mechanisms. And the federal government prosecuted, or at least threatened to prosecute if they kept doing it, this group under what's called the material support statute, which prohibits Americans from providing material support to terrorist activities, including counseling activities. The humanitarian law group brought a challenge in the Supreme Court saying to apply that material support statute to us for our peaceful speech activities violates our First Amendment rights. And in a fairly divided decision, the conservatives basically said, look, this is a law that usually we would strike down because it's basically telling groups what they can say and what they can't say. But here's one of the few cases where the conservatives actually upheld the speech restriction. But then the argument was, well, but how is keeping groups from providing advice on resolving these disputes peacefully, how is that advancing the cause of fighting terrorism? And the response was, well, money is fungible, and if these groups are providing free advice, that means that the terrorists don't have to spend resources on acquiring that kind of advice.
And they could be spending it on terrorism.
And they could move the money to spend on terrorism, but that ignored the fact that most terrorist organizations wouldn't be spending resources on getting advice like this to resolve their disputes peacefully.
Yeah, I don't know how many suicide bombers are like, all right, before I blow myself up, I got to talk to my lawyer to make sure this is okay.
So the conservatives said that. They also said that the legal groups were sort of adding legitimacy to terrorist organizations. And so for those reasons, they thought that calling speech, this sort of counseling activity, material support, was fair enough for the government to do.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed our video. If you have any questions about the First Amendment or free speech in general, let us know in the comments. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and make sure to click the little bell icon so you get notified anytime we release a new video.